Hey everybody, quick update on the Bambu. I don't feel like I talk about this printer enough. It is such a cool little printer. So right now, we're printing this little chicken feeder. I absolutely love that their app links to so many different prints and so many different things. So here, this is just a chicken feeder that is going to attach to a 4-inch PVC pipe. Free to download, just upload it on my phone and print. Takes, this one I think said was 8 hours, and it'll be done. These printers have come so far from where I started. The first printer I had was the FlashForge Finder, and then we moved up to a couple of the Ender 3 V2s, and even the Enders. I mean, they were cool printers, but you spend more time working on the printer than you do printing. And to me, that was not enjoyable. It was fun tinkering on my printer for the first couple of times. But then after that, I just want it to print. I've got so many things I want it to build and stuff like that I didn't want something that I was going to be tinkering on all the time. So, unfortunately, the Prusa's have been a little bit more tinkering than I would have liked for that printer. But this thing has just been chugging away. Now, it has the little face cover here, the silver panel that says Bambu on it that's moving around. Every now and then that faceplate will make contact with something and it pops off and it will stop the print. And it's magnetic, so you just put it back in place and off it goes. It is also scanning your print all the time. So if it starts to detect spaghetti or something that's failing, it will stop the print and send you a text notification saying, hey, this is going on in your print. You want to look at the live view and see what's going on. Now it links up to a little camera up there in the corner, and it will show you your print bed, and you can quickly see it from your phone of exactly what's going on. You can either tell it, hey, you need to continue to print or you need to stop. But ultimately, this thing just prints. Self bed leveling, the works. It is just, if you're looking to get into printing, I can't say enough good things about the Bambu series. I think it's the PS1, which is a step down from the X1C, is basically the same machine. It's just missing a couple of the features, if you will. Just a couple of features, that is it. Everything else is the same on these printers, and it's about half the price. So for $550, you can get this awesome Bambu printer with the same build volume, big enough to build full-size Spider-Man masks for an adult on this build volume for what is honestly a pretty fair entry price. The AMS system, it works really well about 80% of the time. It is not as flawless as the machine itself. The printer works great, and it's got a little spool holder in the back if you're just going to print in a single color. The AMS, it does still struggle on occasion. Every now and then you'll see this thing pop up and say, hey, we weren't able to pull out filament, or we weren't able to load filament. Heaven forbid filament breaks inside the AMS system, because that's a pain in the butt. You got to disassemble it to get it out, but once you get it back up and going, it's pretty smooth. The other thing that this printer needs is, on the X1C anyway, I'm not sure about the PS1, is the little poop chute here. So the waste drops out of the back of the printer here, and then for our application, it ends up in the windowsill, which sucks. So we bought this little poop chute that has or I shouldn't say bought, we printed it. We just have 4 magnets that hold it in place. It funnels that off and it drops into our plastic waste bin here. Now, you guys probably don't have kids that mess with it, but you see a bunch of our plastic filament ends up down there. So we're gonna work on a better solution. it is a little messy. This is all stuff that has come off the print bed during prints. The only time we've ever had a piece pop off, like this print right here where it failed, you can see, is my kids, they get too excited and they take stuff off the bed and they touch it with their fingerprints. So it gets oil on there, and then you end up with adhesion issues, and they pop up and it spaghettis up and causes issues. So you have to take off the print plate, and then you got to wash it with some soap and water and put it back on, and it's good to go again. But you see all the little pieces, all the little filament. This thing does make a mess. We clean this about once a week, and you can see how much it's done in about that week's time. You can also see in the back there, there's a little bit of filament that ends up on the side, so that's a little bit of a pain to clean. And back there, that's the poop chute for this thing when it purges filament. That will get tangled up sometimes, and you will end up with filament that gets clogged, and then you gotta manually unclog it, and it all drops down in the waste bin. But from where 3D printing was 5 years ago, this thing is amazing. It is a night and day printer. If anybody is on the fence about getting a printer, this has been the coolest thing ever for my kids. Super easy for them to handle. Changing out filament is a breeze. Literally open up the top and you unspool these and the filament comes out. You put the next one in, barely feed it in, and it takes off from the rest. Now, it's not supposed to work with the cardboard. Mine works great as long as the filament isn't almost empty. When it gets low, we'll take 3 C batteries and we'll put it inside there to give it a little bit of weight, and it continues to work fine. But for those of you that are debating on getting a printer, I would strongly recommend the X1C or even the PS1. Fantastic machines. You and your kids are going to love them. Great applications. So many things to print, just not enough time. If you guys have any questions about these printers, leave a comment. I try to respond to every single one that I can, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys have.